Baby Witch. This is going to be your tarot reading for Sagittarius. I've actually made it to Sagittarius this month. I'm getting better at it, okay? Last month, we had no Sagittarius. So what do we have today? Remember, this is for the month of December of 2021. Okay. So first things first, I'm the realist. Hey. So we have the Devil card. The Devil card upside down is actually one of the most positive cards that we can find in a reading. Why? Because this means this goes beyond negative self-talk or self-sabotaging beliefs. These are actions, these are coping mechanisms that used to sabotage everything good that was going on in our lives. But now we no longer have those. We're able to free ourselves from the chains of addiction, from the chains of toxic relationships, from the chains of addictive behaviors, whether they're drugs, sex, alcohol, shopping, codependency. All of those things, we are finally allowing ourselves to be free from them. And by doing that, we are actually getting caught, but this is almost of a self-caught. Like, we're actually looking at all of the things that we did, because this is the get caught card. This is the get caught with your hands on the dough. Like, you're getting caught with it, your hands on the cookie jar, right? So this is bringing us into awareness of where all those things that we did and how other people did us wrong. So we were in toxic relationships and whatnot. Now, what do we do with this information, right? Because it's about ourselves and it's about other people. Oh, you know what? When I was being really toxic, I allowed this person to treat me like that, because my toxic might look like I allow you to step over me, or my toxic might look like I will step over you and I will bully you. They're both toxic and they're both addictive behaviors and they're both coping mechanisms and they're both everything, right? So we're finally freeing ourselves from that, and we're getting caught in all of that. We're like, oh shit, this is how even when I free myself, even when I move on from all of that, they still come back, but now I'm able to catch myself and catch others when they come at me like that, right? So the most important is catching ourselves, because if we start pointing the finger outwards, then we get too busy doing that. So there's a need of keeping the balance between the both things that are going on. When am I the one doing this addictive behaviors, and when it's other people bringing this addictive behaviors to me? We don't want to focus it too much outward or too much inward. We want to do both, right? So then after that, we have the Four of Cups upside down. The Four Cups upside down is letting us know to go for it. We are finally willing, and if we're not willing, we should be willing to take action right away to what is the word I'm looking for? To cut off, to take action, to jump on it, on those negative behaviors. So okay, healing from negative behaviors, coping mechanisms that are toxic, and addiction, right? Boom. Oh shit, now that I'm moving on from that, I can catch myself when I'm doing it, because I'm no longer in oblivion from it, right? What do I do once I get caught? Oh shit, love, you're doing this. Or oh shit, love, someone's doing this to you. You know, you are thinking too much about sex. You're thinking too much about shopping. You're thinking too much about, your ex. All these kind of things, right? Or like, oh, this person is treating me a certain way that I don't appreciate. So what do I do now? We take action. If we are being told right now, Sagittarius, that this is where we take action, because you're very very wanderer, very out there, very whimsical. A lot of the times it's like you're working with your lesson here as a Sagittarius of being naive, not really understanding it, very spiritual, very holy shit, I'm taking action. This is the card of jumping it. Take the action necessary to switch it around. Interception is going to be the title of this, because it's what you're doing. You're intercepting those negative behaviors and those addicting coping mechanisms and skills that we used to have, and you're switching them around so that we can do something different. It's like me, I'm in recovery. I do suffer from addiction, and I'm not active on my addiction, meaning that I have 6 months of constant sobriety. But every time that I start thinking about using, my brain Just because I'm not using, just because I'm following a pattern of healing, just because I am in recovery and recovered from my addiction, does not mean that I don't think about it anymore, right? This is my personal intake. You can insert whatever your thing is for the devil card in there. It still happens. Sometimes I'm super busy doing something, and next thing you know, I've already planned a whole day of using in my head. And I'm like, I'm gonna go to Palm Springs, and I'm gonna get a bag of dope, and I'm gonna do it. And I'm like, oh shit. So this happens. I get caught. My addiction gets caught thinking, right? What do? I take a fast action. Anything. To rewind it. Boom. I think about something different. I slap myself a little bit. Self-harm is not a thing, but, you know, splash water in my face, jump, something. It's just a corrective action right there and then. Right? So that we can switch that over. There is going to be so much to celebrate. Honestly. There's going to be so much to celebrate about it because this is the card of healing. This is the card of healing. Now, I'm not coming over here and telling you that everything's going to be fine. I'm coming over here and telling you that if you put in the work and if you do something with this awareness, you might be getting somewhere, Sagittarius. You might be getting somewhere. Remember, when the cards tell you something, the cards are not like, oh, you're healed. You can stop doing what you're doing. You're going to be fine. No, it's like the opposite. It's like, no, you need to keep putting in the work. Okay? And to get here, this is the card of celebration, graduation, like... See, 4 represents just the number 4 itself represents study. Like it's almost like represents like a Taurus, like a like a solid structure that allows us to be, what's the word? I'm blanking on all of my words. Reliable structure. This reliable structure is based on healing and transformation. Because that's the element of fire, and that's what the wands represent. It also represents action, movement. So taking the movement and the actions necessary to transform and heal ourselves and become a reliable human being for ourselves emotionally and mentally, we're becoming reliable to ourselves. And that's all this card means. Okay? If we're able to go about life like that, if we're able to keep it, you know, progress, not perfection. Like that's something I learned in recovery a lot. It's progress, not perfection. You will always jump back to that. You will always jump back to that. Eventually, it will start getting easier. But those negative behaviors can probably jump in from time to time. Okay. So that after that, we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is your typical motivational speaker, but in this case, this motivational speaker has a story to tell. And even if you're not necessarily telling your story verbally and communicating to other people around you, the mere presence of your story being there in front of them helps them create a foundation for their life. Meaning that you don't necessarily have to, or if you're not willing to, because you can, share your story in a physical manner, like, hey, this is what I've been through. I'm trying to inspire you. No, sometimes you just by existing inspire other people. And this is where we're getting to. You're able to lead yourself somewhere. You're able to lead a couple, even if it's just one person that you might save their life because they're like, wow, that person used to be a fucking raging, codependent, shopaholic, meth addict, was in a toxic relationship with a person that used to hit him all the time, and now look at them. They got out of it. And they were the kind of motherfuckers that they used to be in abusive relationships. They used to be they used to be the abuser themselves, and I didn't fucking like them. And now they're actually changed. What's going on? That's what this card talks about. Okay? In this case, in this specific scenario, because this card itself just talks about someone who leads with inspiration, who inspires people to take action in things, because it's a king, so it's an authority figure, right? But we're talking about wands, so we're talking about action, transformation, healing, because that's the element of fire. That's all of the keywords. The keywords for wands, the element of wands is fire. The keywords for fire and wands are healing, transformation, and action. Healing, transformation, and action. Say it again. Healing, transformation, and action, for those who are starting to read. Okay? So after that, we're able to move on by allowing ourselves to no longer use this old coping mechanisms, this old toxicity in our life. This is the moving on card. So So either we're moving on for old behaviors, we're moving on from old relationships, we're moving on from bullying, from being bullied, from things that used to put us down and be toxic to ourselves. We're finally saying goodbye to all of it. Sayonara, see you later. Okay? Okay. I love y'all. Let's pull one more card. It's just the card of goodbye. I didn't say let's pull 20,000 cards. Let's be really careful of not getting too caught up in the negative side of everything. Okay? Getting too caught up in the negative side of everything in this case will mean I am such a horrible person. This is the awareness, right? I'm such a horrible person. I did all of this kind of stuff. I catch myself being mean, or I catch myself allowing other people to be mean to me. What am I gonna do? And then it's gonna fuck us up. It's gonna fuck us over in the ass, because then we're not gonna take the action necessary to jump in, and we're not gonna be able to gladly and proudly get into that healing, let alone be able to help other people get there. Now, that does not have to be your purpose. You're like, I don't want to fucking help other people. I'm trying to help myself. You don't have to. You can just be you. If it helps someone in the way, so mote it be. And if it doesn't, then so mote it not be. Fuck it. And just understand that. Believe in yourself. Know that the actions you're taking towards healing yourself, as long as you're thinking about it, as long as you are asking for help, whether it's therapy, whether it's spirituality, whether it's your higher power, your God, your whatever it is, as long as you're working on it, you're fine. Take the steps that you need to take. This is a promising action. The actions that you're taking right now, lovelies, are the ones that are gonna take you to where you need to go, and you need to be sure of that, because that's what that last card just told you. Just in case this whole reading didn't do it for you, the last card said, hey, by the way, thumbs up, you're doing great. None of this shit is promised, Rihanna. None of this shit is promised. But keep working. It looks good for me. Because that's the way the cards read. The cards don't tell you, the future specifically, they tell you, hey, the way you're doing it right now, it's gonna look good. Or the way you're doing it right now, it's gonna look bad. Anything can change in a moment. And if you're going through some financial hardship, just know that this is the worst of it, okay? Alright. So, message may not be for everyone. If they resonate with you, please share it. Please help a bitch start making money on YouTube. Please share this shit. Anyway, I love y'all. The universe is on your side, and the cards just give you the power. Bye.
Chit-chits got red.